The rope was cutting into his skin, but that was not what broke him. What broke him was the voice he heard on the phone. "Madam, this is the last time I am calling you." The rough voice of the kidnapper said, "Your husband is here. If you do not send the money, we will end everything tonight." There was a short silence. Chief Gabriel Adeoye closed his eyes and waited to hear his wife crying, begging, shouting. He waited to hear fear in her voice. He waited to hear love. Instead, he heard a calm, cold reply. "Do whatever you want," his wife's voice said quietly. The phone slipped a little in the kidnapper's hand. Even he was surprised. Chief Gabriel's heart went numb. He sat there on the plastic chair, hands tied behind him, mouth uncovered, in a small, dark warehouse somewhere on the outskirts of Lagos. The air smelled of dust, engine oil, and old cement. A single yellow bulb hung from the ceiling, making long shadows on the cracked walls. He had planned this kidnap himself. He had paid these men. He thought he was in control, but as he listened to his wife speak, he realized something. He was the only one who did not know the truth about his own family. "Madam, are you sure?" the kidnapper asked again, frowning. "This is your husband we are talking about." Another voice came from the background on the phone. A male voice. Familiar. Calm. "Give me the phone," the man said. Chief Gabriel's heart started to race. He knew that voice. It belonged to someone who ate at his table, someone who hugged him, someone he trusted. As the man took the phone and spoke his next words, something inside Chief Gabriel finally cracked. "Tunde," he whispered to himself in the dark. "No, it cannot be you." 12 hours earlier, Lagos looked different to him. The sun was bright over the third mainland bridge. Cars lined up, horns blaring. Buses squeezing in and out of small spaces. On the water below, small boats moved slowly, like tiny dots. From the back seat of his black SUV, Chief Gabriel watched the city he had helped to build. He was one of the biggest real estate developers in Lagos. People called him Baba Island because he owned many buildings in Lekki and Ikoyi. His tall glass office tower in Victoria Island carried his name in gold letters at the top. But today, as he looked out of the car window, all he felt was empty. "Sir, are you okay?" His driver, Hassan, asked softly from the front. Gabriel smiled a little. "I am fine, Hassan, just thinking." He was thinking about the night before, the way his daughter, Tomi, had rolled her eyes when he entered the sitting room. The way his son, Damilare, had only looked up from his phone when it was time to ask for money. The way his wife, Kemi, had smiled gently, but that smile never reached her eyes anymore. His big mansion in Banana Island was always full of light, food, and rich visitors. But the one thing it did not have was warmth. People loved his money. He was no longer sure anyone still loved him. That was why he had made the decision. A crazy, dangerous decision. To plan his own kidnap. Not to punish them. Not to scare them. To see the truth. Would his family fight for him? Would they cry? Would they stand together and search for him? Or would they see his disappearance as freedom? When the car turned into a quiet street in Yaba, Hassan parked beside a small mechanic workshop. The noise of hammers and tools filled the air. Men in greasy overalls bent over open cars. A tall man in a black polo shirt was waiting under a tree. He wore simple jeans, black sneakers, and dark glasses. His posture was relaxed, but his eyes were sharp. That was Kunle. Not his brother, but his most trusted security consultant. "Chief," Kunle greeted, opening the back door. "Are you ready?" Gabriel stepped out of the SUV, his simple white kaftan moving gently as he walked. Without the usual bodyguards and long convoy, he almost looked like any other rich man in Lagos who just wanted some quiet. "I do not know if anyone can be ready for this," Gabriel said, trying to joke. His voice still shook a bit. Kunle studied him carefully. "We can still stop." "You know that, sir." Gabriel looked away, watching two schoolboys walking past, laughing and pushing each other, sweating under their backpacks. He wondered if his own children ever laughed like that when he was not around. "No," he said softly. "If I do not do this now, I will die one day, and never know what was in their hearts." Kunle nodded slowly. "Then we follow the plan exactly." They went inside a small empty office behind the workshop. On the table lay a few items. a burner phone, a small black bag of cash, and a folded paper with details of bank accounts, fake names, and a carefully drawn map. Kunle pointed at the map. The men I chose are rough, but they respect me. They know this is not a real kidnap, but they will act like it is. We will take you from the road near your house tonight. No cameras will see us, no one will suspect anything. And my family? Gabriel asked. By tomorrow morning, they will get the first call. Kunle tapped the burner phone. We will ask for ransom. Not too small, not too big. Enough to test them. Gabriel swallowed. And if they do not want to pay? Kunle hesitated. Then, Chief, you will know where you stand. He tried to smile. Maybe they will surprise you. Gabriel looked down at his hands. They had built estates, towers, companies. But these same hands had not been able to hold his family together. Do you think I am foolish? He asked suddenly. Kunle shook his head. I think you are a man who is tired of guessing. That night, everything happened like a movie. The gate of the Banana Island mansion slid open. The security guard greeted and waved as the black SUV rolled in. Gabriel sat at the back, pretending to read a document. As the car moved slowly toward the main entrance, two men in black hoodies suddenly appeared from behind a parked delivery van. The guard did not even have time to shout. The back door flew open. A rough hand grabbed Gabriel, another covered his mouth. In seconds, he was dragged out, pushed into another car waiting outside the gate. The guard shouted and ran. The SUV horn blared. One of the hooded men fired a single shot into the air. Neighbors screamed from their balconies. Inside the car, as they sped away, Gabriel's heart pounded. He knew it was all planned. He knew these were Kunle's men, but the fear still felt real. His mind went to Kemi, to Tomi, to Damilare. Would they be crying now? Would they be calling the police? Would they be holding each other and praying? Or would they be staring at the clock, waiting? Hours later, after blindfolds, rough turns, and a long drive, they pushed him into the small warehouse and tied him to the plastic chair. Relax, Chief, one of the men whispered in his ear. We are still under Kunle's control. Just act like you are afraid. He did not have to act. Finally, the leader walked in with the burner phone in his hand. It is time, he said. We will call your wife now. Gabriel watched him dial the number he knew by heart. His chest felt tight. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Then she picked. Hello? Kemi's soft voice came through the speaker. The kidnapper turned the phone to speaker and placed it close to Gabriel's ear. And in that moment, as he listened, Gabriel had no idea that this simple phone call would not only test his family, it would also reveal the darkest secret he never imagined. For a moment, no one in the small warehouse moved. Not the kidnappers, not the man holding the phone, not Chief Gabriel, whose heart felt like it had stopped beating. His wife's voice had no fear, no panic, no trembling, just calm, too calm. Madam, the kidnapper said again, a little confused. We have your husband. We need 50 million naira by tomorrow morning. There was a pause, a very small one. Then the same steady voice replied, I heard you the first time. Chief Gabriel felt something cold settle in his stomach. This was not the reaction he had imagined. He had pictured his wife crying, begging, screaming for his safety, but she sounded like someone listening to a stranger, like someone being told that a package was missing. The kidnapper tried again. Madam, are you not going to say anything? Your husband is. I said I heard you. She cut in, firmer now. If you need the money, then follow the instructions I will send. Do not call this number again until the money has been moved. Before the kidnapper could respond, the line clicked. She had ended the call. The phone dropped from the kidnapper's hand. Chief Gabriel stared at the concrete floor, his breathing shaky. The kidnappers looked at each other. Even they were moved. But the worst part came next. The phone rang again. Same number. The kidnapper quickly answered and put it on speaker. This time, another voice spoke. A male voice. Familiar. Calm. Very calm. Tunde. Gabriel whispered under his breath, though no one heard him. The man on the phone said, Give me the phone. I want to talk to him directly. Chief Gabriel lifted his head slowly. Directly? To him? But the kidnappers did not know that voice, So their leader asked, "Who is this?" The man gave a small laugh. "You do not need to know my name. Just put the phone on his ear. Now." The kidnappers hesitated. They looked at Gabriel. He looked back at them, eyes wide. He shook his head slightly. But the kidnapper thought he was just scared, so the leader stepped forward, pressed the phone to Gabriel's ear and shoulder, and stepped back. The familiar voice said softly, "Chief, are you comfortable?" Gabriel felt his mouth go dry. He wanted to speak, but the words froze. The man continued, "I did not expect you to go this far. Faking your own kidnap. That is bold. Very bold." The kidnappers glanced at each other, confused. This wasn't part of the plan. Gabriel swallowed hard. "Tunde," he whispered. They heard the name. Even the kidnappers stiffened. A name meant this was personal. The voice chuckled lightly on the phone. "Ah, so you knew it was me already. Tunde, why are you with my wife?" Gabriel asked, voice shaking. The reply came like a knife. "Your wife?" "No, Chief. You lost her a long time ago. You just didn't notice." Gabriel felt something tear inside his chest. Tunde continued, voice steady and cold. "You see, Kemi and I have been handling things together for years. Business things, family things, emotional things." He paused. The silence felt heavy and cruel. Then he added, almost gently, "And she is not worried about you, Gabriel. She is just worried I might lose control of the money if anything happens." The kidnappers exchanged shocked looks. Gabriel's eyes filled with tears he didn't want to release. His voice broke as he whispered, "Tunde, I trusted you. You were like a son to me." The laugh that came from the phone was soft, almost pitying. "That is the problem, Chief. You kept treating me like a son, but I wanted to be your equal, your partner, your heir." Gabriel blinked in confusion. "What are you talking about?" But Tunde wasn't finished. "You will understand soon," he said. "For now, stay alive until I say otherwise." The line went dead. The kidnappers slowly lowered the phone. No one spoke. Finally, the leader said quietly, "Chief, this is bigger than what we planned. Do we stop everything now?" Gabriel lifted his head. His eyes were red, his breathing unsteady. But something had changed inside him. A quiet fire, a new fear, a new anger. "No," he whispered. "We continue." The kidnappers stared at him. He forced his voice to become stronger. "We continue exactly as planned. Do not stop. I need to know everything." "But Chief," the leader said carefully, "you heard what that man said. This is dangerous. He knows the truth behind your back." Gabriel's jaw tightened. "I have been blind for too long. Tonight, the truth opened the door. Even if it hurts, I will walk through it." The leader nodded slowly, but before they could say anything else, there was a sudden loud bang at the warehouse door. Everyone froze. Another bang. The kidnappers grabbed their weapons. Chief Gabriel's heart raced. A voice shouted from outside, "Open this door now. I know he is inside." A voice he recognized. A voice he never expected. The voice of his own daughter, Tomi. And from the sound of her voice, she was not alone. Someone else was with her. Someone dangerous, and they were coming in. The metal door shook violently as fists slammed against it again and again. Dust fell from the rusted hinges. The kidnappers raised their guns, exchanging quick, frightened glances. Chief Gabriel felt his breath catch in his throat. "Tomi?" he whispered, unable to believe what he was hearing. His daughter's voice, usually soft, always careful, had turned sharp, loud, furious. "Open this door," she shouted. "I said, open it now." One of the kidnappers moved toward the window and peeked outside. His eyes widened. "Chief," he whispered, stepping back. "Your daughter. She's here with someone." Gabriel's heart slammed against his ribs. "Someone? Who?" Before he could ask, Tomi's voice rang out again. "Break the door, now." A deep male voice replied sharply. "Stand back." Then, bang, something heavy hit the metal door so hard, the entire warehouse trembled. The kidnappers jumped back. The leader hissed, "Chief, we need to hide you. Now." But Gabriel shook his head slowly. "No, let Let me hear her first. His voice broke. Let me hear what she will say. The kidnappers stared at him, confused, but the decision wasn't theirs to make. Another bang, another, and then a sharp blast, a gunshot hit the lock. The sound echoed through the warehouse. Move. The deep male voice barked. The door flew open with a violent crash. Light from outside spilled into the dim warehouse, outlining two figures at the doorway. The first was Tommy, his 3-year-old daughter, breathing heavily, her eyes full of rage, her hands trembling. She wasn't crying, she wasn't scared. She looked angry, very angry. Standing beside her was a man Gabriel knew too well, a man who should not have been here. Femi, Damilare's closest friend, someone who visited their house almost every weekend. Someone Gabriel had once helped secure a job. Someone he always trusted around his family. But right now, Femi was holding a gun, a real gun, pointed at the kidnappers. Tommy, Gabriel whispered. She didn't look at him. Instead, she glared at the kidnappers. Untie him, she commanded. Now. The kidnappers raised their weapons too. For a moment, the warehouse fell completely silent. Then Kunle's voice echoed from behind the kidnappers. Everyone, stop. All heads turned. Kunle stepped out from the shadows, his hands raised. He moved slowly, calmly, like someone used to danger. Tommy, he said carefully. Put the weapon down. I will not, she screamed. Give me my father. Kunle sighed. Your father is safe. Don't lie to me, she snapped, breathing heavily. Do you think I don't know what is going on? Do you think I am stupid? Gabriel's eyebrows pulled together. What does she mean? He whispered to the kidnapper leader. The leader swallowed hard. Chief, I think she knew something. Or she found out. Kunle looked at Tommy again. Tommy, he said calmly. Your father. Shut up, she cried, stepping forward. Her voice cracked as her eyes finally moved toward her father, tied to a chair, bruised wrists, confusion on his face. For 1 second, her face softened. Then it hardened again. Where is my brother? She asked coldly. Gabriel blinked. Damilare. He's at home. No, he is not. She cut in. He left the house at the same time you were taken. He has not returned. He has not returned. Gabriel's stomach dropped. Damilare. Missing? Tommy, Gabriel whispered. Untie me. Let's talk. Talk? She repeated bitterly. Now you want to talk? Her voice trembled. She tried to hide it, but Gabriel heard it. You think you are the only one who notices things, Daddy, she said slowly. For months now, your meetings, your strange behavior, the way you started keeping secrets. Gabriel stared at her, shocked. You saw all that? Of course I did, she said, tears gathering in her eyes. But you never told me anything. You never trusted me enough. Her hands tightened around the gun. And now Damilare is missing. And you are here tied to a chair in an abandoned warehouse because you wanted to test us. She stepped closer. Test us for what, Daddy? To see if we love you? To see if we care. Her voice broke completely. You think love is a game? Gabriel looked down, shame flooding him. Tears stung his eyes. Tommy, I never meant to hurt you. You did, she whispered. Not today. Long before today. Femi touched her arm gently. Tommy, let's just get him out. We don't know if they're working with... He didn't finish his sentence. Before he could, a ringtone echoed loud, sharp, chilling. Not from Tommy's phone, not from Femi's, not from any of the kidnappers. It came from the burner phone the kidnappers had used earlier. The leader picked it up, frowned, and put it on speaker. A calm voice said, Good evening. I hear you have visitors. Gabriel froze. His heart knew that voice. Tunde. The room fell silent. Tunde continued, his tone smooth, almost amused. Chief, I see your daughter is more involved than I expected. And Femi. He let out a small laugh. Interesting. Very interesting. Femi's face turned pale. Tommy stiffened. Gabriel whispered, Tunde, what have you done? Tunde ignored him. Instead, he said 4 words that made everyone shiver. Tell them the truth. The kidnappers looked at Gabriel. Tommy looked at her father. Femi lowered his gun slightly. Kunle's eyes narrowed. Gabriel's entire body went cold. Tunde's voice continued, soft but deadly. Tell them what you hid from them, or I will tell them myself. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Then Tunde added one last thing, something that shattered Gabriel's heart completely. Tell them why their mother wanted you gone. The warehouse fell so silent that even the dust in the air seemed to stop moving. Everyone froze. Tomi, Femi, Kunle, the kidnappers, and Chief Gabriel, who felt his entire world tilting beneath him. Tunde's voice hung in the air like a blade. Tell them why their mother wanted you gone. Tomi slowly turned her head toward her father. Her eyes, usually bright and full of life, were now filled with something else. Fear, confusion, and a pain she was trying hard to hide. Daddy, she whispered. What is he talking about? Femi's grip tightened on the gun. Kunle stepped forward, a look of warning in his eyes. The kidnappers shifted nervously. Gabriel felt sweat gather on his forehead. His mouth felt dry. His heart thudded painfully in his chest. He shook his head softly. Tomi, please, let's go home. Let me explain there. No, she said sharply. You will explain here. Now. Her voice trembled, but her gaze didn't break. Tunde's voice returned through the speaker. Chief, she deserves to know. Femi deserves to know. Everyone deserves to know. Femi frowned. What do I have to do with this? Tunde chuckled quietly. Oh, you really don't know? Interesting. Gabriel's chest tightened. Tunde, stop this. No, Tunde cut in, voice suddenly cold. You hid the truth for years. You built your house on secrets. Now those secrets are breaking that same house apart. Tomi looked between them, tears slipping down her cheeks. Daddy, what truth? Gabriel felt something inside him crack. He lowered his head. The pain of the moment pressed down on him, making it hard to breathe. But before he could speak, a loud metallic crash echoed from outside. Everyone jerked toward the open warehouse door. Kunle reacted first. He raised his hand. Everyone stay back. Another crash. Then the voice of a man shouting, Move, search everywhere. They can't have gone far. Tomi gasped. That's our security team from the house. Ah. A wave of panic washed over the kidnappers. If your security enters here, the leader hissed, they will think we actually kidnapped your father. They will shoot all of us. Femi stepped in front of Tomi protectively and raised his gun. Kunle grabbed Chief Gabriel's chair and dragged him toward the back wall. Sir, stay down. The burner phone, still on speaker, crackled with Tunde's voice. Ah, it seems your house has entered the game. More footsteps approached, more shouting, boots hitting gravel. Kunle cursed under his breath. This is bad. This is very, very bad. Then a familiar voice shouted from outside. Search this side. They must be inside that warehouse. Tomi froze. That's Damilare's voice. Gabriel's head snapped up. Damilare? He's here? He heard it again, his son's deep voice, loud and urgent. Break the back door if you have to. We cannot lose him today. Chief Gabriel felt tears burn his eyes. His family was looking for him. His son had come. For a moment, hope flickered inside him, but that hope vanished as quickly as it came when Tunde's voice returned soft, calm, and deadly. Oh yes, Damilare is there. I sent him. Everyone froze once more. Tomi's eyes widened. You sent my brother? Why? Tunde didn't answer the question directly. Instead, he said, Chief, tell them the truth. Before Damilare enters that building, if he walks in without knowing what you did, trust me, the damage will be worse than anything happening right now. Gabriel shook his head. Tunde, please, tell them, Tunde repeated. Tell them who their mother has been speaking to for the past 3 years. Tell them why she changed. Tell them what happened the night you threatened to cut someone out of your will. Tomi blinked. You threatened someone? She whispered. Daddy, what is he saying? Femi's voice dropped low. Chief, you should speak. It's getting dangerous. Gabriel felt trapped. Not by ropes. Not by kidnappers. Not by guns, but by the truth. He inhaled shakily and lifted his head. Tomi, Femi, Kunle, all of you. His voice broke. There is something I have kept hidden for years. Something I thought I could handle alone. And maybe that was my biggest mistake. Tommy stepped closer. Daddy, please, just tell me. Gabriel closed his eyes. I found out, 3 years ago, that your mother was speaking to someone secretly. Tommy froze. Someone? Who? Gabriel swallowed hard. A man. Femi's jaw tightened. Kunle lowered his gaze. The kidnappers glanced at each other. Tommy blinked fast, her breathing shaky. A man? A friend? A business partner? Gabriel shook his head slowly. No. Someone who wanted my place. Someone who wanted my family. Someone who wanted everything. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Who? Before Gabriel could answer, boom, the back door of the warehouse exploded inward. Dust and splinters flew everywhere. Damilare burst inside with 2 security guards, guns raised, eyes wide. Dad. The moment froze in time. Tommy gasped. Femi turned sharply. Kunle raised his hands so they wouldn't shoot. The kidnappers panicked. Chief Gabriel looked at his son, his boy running toward him, with tears in his eyes. But before anyone could reach him, a voice came from the burner phone, louder than before. The voice of Tunde. Welcome, Damilare. You arrived just in time to learn that the man who destroyed your family is standing right next to your father. Every head turned instantly toward Femi. Femi's face drained of color. Tommy stepped back from him. Gabriel's eyes widened in horror. Tunde. No, don't. But it was too late. Tunde spoke the words that shattered the air. Tell them, Femi. Tell them how long you and their mother have been together behind their father's back. Gunshots echoed outside the warehouse as dust rained from the ceiling. Tommy clung to her father. Damilare shielded her, eyes burning with fear and anger. A tall man in black tactical gear stepped through the broken doorway, gun raised, eyes cold. Chief Gabriel's heart pounded. Tunde, what are you doing? Tunde's voice came calmly through the phone on speaker. Finishing the truth. Your wife sent him. She didn't want a divorce scandal. She wanted freedom. The man aimed at Gabriel's chest. Tommy screamed. No. Before the gun could fire, Kunle sprang forward, slamming into the attacker. The warehouse erupted in chaos. Guns clattered, shouting filled the air. Femi grabbed Tommy, pulling her to safety. Guilt written across his face. Move, Kunle shouted, wrestling the attacker to the ground. Get the chief out now. Damilare rushed to his father and began to untie him with trembling hands. Tears filled his eyes. Dad, please don't die. We still need you. Gabriel touched his son's cheek. I'm not leaving you. Not again. Behind them, Kunle finally overpowered the attacker, knocking him unconscious. Silence followed, shaking, heavy silence. Femi stepped forward, voice breaking. Chief, Tommy, I'm sorry. I destroyed everything. I will face any punishment. Gabriel looked at his children shattered, crying, but holding on to him. And something inside him softened. We will rebuild, he said quietly. Not because we are perfect, but because we finally know the truth. Tommy hugged him tightly. Damilare joined them. Broken, but together. Secrets may protect feelings for a moment, but they destroy trust for a lifetime. Only truth spoken early and bravely can save a family from breaking in silence. Healing begins the day. Honesty becomes more important than pride. Thanks for watching. What is your view about this story? Where are you watching from? Do well to let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe while you stick with Tales by Special for more interesting stories. Stay blessed.